Hello, everybody. This is Skip Elshammer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show, where I am recording this show because I got a lot of stuff going on Monday, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to be in a place where I can do a live show. I will try to be back live on Tuesday, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. I have some interns who are helping me move some stuff, and there's also some work taking place at the archive, and there's just a lot of moving parts. So, anyways, I figured it would be more sane for me to try to do a show pre-recorded. So, anyways, we're going to start off with a film that I just scanned. I've shown this before. This copy is warped, so we're going to watch it because it's visually interesting to see how the film, when it begins to shrink, how it manifests itself, and it gets a little warbly at the end. Then we're going to watch, and that's part of the Alcoa management series films that were made by Calvin. Then we're going to watch Indian Influences in the United States. Then we're going to watch this great film called Flight and New Awareness. And this is one of these films from the 70s that have a lot of footage, beautiful footage of hang gliders and gliders and, all sorts of things. So this is definitely, I think, capitalizing. There was a film that won an Oscar called Up. It was best short subject for a year. And I think there was a lot of filmmakers that were like, ooh, that won an Oscar. I can shoot that. Or I have some of this footage sitting around. Then we're going to watch Encyclopedia Britannica's Shooting in Basketball. And then finally, we're going to watch Skateboard Safety, which is a film that is talking about the new craze of skateboarding and then how to do it safely. And there's great footage of a kid falling down in slow motion. So thanks for watching today. If you like what you saw or are watching, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. You can also donate via the super thanks button or go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. At the very least, just, comment, share, invite your friends. We'll be back again tomorrow. But enjoy. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder what's the use. You beat your brains out, fight for the people who work for you, and what do you get? A headache. Oh, my name is Lewis. I run this department, design department. Well, you know how it is. Sometimes you're busy and sometimes you're not. And the other day, the boss called me in. Al Simpson, he's the division manager. What's up, Al?
Well, things are pretty slow, Jim. We're gonna have to cut down on our help. And we figure you can get by with one less girl.
Here we go again. Every year it's the same thing. You just get your help trained to where they can give you a good day's work, Al, then you have to let them go.
I'll tell her things might pick up in a month or two. Tell her you'll call her back.
Oh, you know I'll never get that same girl again. Then I have to go out and hire another one, and it's a couple of months before she's any good to
Look
me.
here, Jim, you were telling me yourself just a couple of days ago that you haven't got enough work to do to keep everyone busy. You know we can't afford to keep people on around here when there's nothing to do.
Well, it seems to me there ought to be some way to work this out. In a couple of months, we'll be loaded with work again, and then the cycle starts all over.
Well, why not use this as a weeding out period? Are all your girls doing a good job?
Yeah, they are, Al. Even the newest girl is doing a bang-up job.
All right, Jim, what do you suggest?
Well, look, Al, I know you don't like to do it, but How about letting me transfer one of my girls to accounting for a couple of months? Now, only yesterday, Willard was telling me all over again how badly he needs some help.
We've tried that before. It just doesn't work. Willard needs experienced help. You boys always want to let your least experienced girl go.
Tell you what, I'll let Willard have my best girl. She worked in accounting several years ago. But he has to agree it's only temporary. Within 2 months, I get her back.
You're willing to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's on a temporary basis. That way, in 2 months, I'll have my help again.
Willard Chase in accounting, please. Who's the girl?
Marge Roberts.
Willard, Al Stimson. Have you found a girl to help out with your final report yet? How would you like to use one of Lewis's girls on a temporary basis? Marge Roberts.
She's a great worker. I'll have her down here anytime.
Okay. We'll have a report to you in the morning. Well, that works out all right for everybody.
Thanks, Al. Thanks for helping me out on this. Marge. I was talking to Mr. Simpson a while ago, and things are pretty slow in the department, the way they are every year at this time. And as usual, Mr. Simpson wants me to lay off one of the girls.
Me?
Well, I was hoping to work it out so it wouldn't be anybody.
Oh?
You see, I worked out a deal with Willard Chase in accounting. He can use a girl for a couple of months. It's annual report time.
Who's going, Mr. Lewis?
Well, I told him you were, and he said fine.
But I didn't like working for Mr. Chase.
This is only temporary, Marge.
Why do I have to go? Why not send somebody else? Why not send one of our newest girls?
No, that'd be Betty. I can't send her. He needs an experienced girl like you. Now you've worked there before. You know the ropes.
Well, I don't see why I should have to go, just to keep Betty working a couple of months.
Look, Marge, there are some things we all have to do that we don't like. I've got some problems running this department that you can't be expected to know anything about. I have to make decisions. Willard's not a monster, and 2 months isn't forever. I've got it all arranged now, and I've got no good reason to change it. Willard expects you to report to him first thing in the morning. Okay?
And on top of that, I just don't like Willard Chase. He's a regular slave driver.
I don't blame you. I don't like him either.
What about our new girl, Betty Stanley? Why didn't they send her?
I wouldn't stop with Lewis. I'd go straight to the front office if it were me. Right to Mr. Simpson.
Come in.
I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Simpson, but could I see you for a minute?
Why, certainly. Come in.
I'm Marge Roberts, Mr. Simpson.
Oh, yes, you're the one going to accounting in the morning.
Well, now, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. You see, I went to accounting.
I don't suppose I'll ever know exactly what Marge said to Al Simpson. But there's one thing I'm sure of. She said plenty. As a general rule, Marge is quiet, industrious, cooperative. But she also has the faculty of being very firm in her opinions once they're made.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Roberts. I wish you didn't feel that way.
Well, I'm sorry too, Mr. Simpson, but I do feel that way. Now, I realize your position, but, well, I simply won't go. And if that gets me fired, well, that'll have to be all right, too.
Get me Lewis.
Well, he got me. I bust my back to keep my girls, and look what happens. Now the old man thinks that I don't know how to handle my help. And the rest of the girls are mad at me for picking on Marge. And me? I'm right in the middle, taking it out on the wife at home, so she's mad at me, too. What's a guy supposed to do?
When they first came upon the shores of North America, European explorers and colonists found a primitive land. But to them, the land held great promise for settlement. Yet, centuries before the Europeans had planted their colonies in the New World, the land had been loved and cherished by numerous tribes of American Indians. From these Native Americans, the Europeans learned many things. In the East, they were taught how to hunt the animals of the forest by the Iroquois, the Mohican, and the Penobscot. In the West, they were taught how to hunt the creatures of the prairie by the tribes of the Ojibwe, the Dakota, the Sauk, and the Fox. The Europeans followed trails that had been blazed across the wilderness by the tribes of the Massachusetts, the Cherokee, and the Narragansett. They traveled and fished the lakes, rivers, and streams explored by the Menominee, the Kickapoo, and the Cayuga. The Indians helped to acquaint the white men with the resources of their new country. In what is now the United States, regions were inhabited by groups of Indian tribes: the northern fishermen, the seed gatherers, the nomads, the village dwellers, the hunters of the plains, and the Indians of the eastern woodlands. Much later, the names of their chiefs became well known. Chief Bow and Quiver of the Comanches, He Who Puts Out and Kills of the Choctaw, Black Hawk of the Sauk and the Fox, and One Horn of the Sioux. These men were respected and honored among their peoples and are still remembered today. But today, where the Indian once hunted, where he once made his home and built his civilization, we have established the present-day civilization of the United States. Yet in our modern everyday lives, we carry on much of our Indian heritage. This heritage influences the places where we live. Many of our home addresses include streets named after such great and powerful Indian chiefs as Pontiac and Black Hawk. Many of our towns and cities stand on the sites of what were once Indian settlements: Chicago, or the place of the wild onion; Manhattan, or the island; Milwaukee, or the good lands. The Indians, of course, knew little about cities. They lived close to nature. They knew the features of the land and gave them Indian names. The Indians named many rivers. This is the mighty Mississippi, the father of waters. The Indians named the lakes whose waters they traveled. This is Lake Michigan, the great water. Some of our mountain chains bear Indian names. These are the Appalachian Mountains, named for the Appalachian Indians, the people on the other side. Though the Appalachians maintained permanent settlements, many tribes wandered from place to place along footpaths in search of new hunting grounds. In time, Indian trails became the basis for roads, such as this one in Illinois. It still bears the name of the tribe that blazed the trail, the Sauk. Even many of our present-day superhighways follow practically mile per mile parts of trails originally blazed by the Indians. Here are just a few of the many highways which follow parts of Indian trails. More than half of the states of continental United States are named after Indian words, another way in which Indian languages have enriched our own. The state name Kentucky, for example, comes from the Wyandot Indian word Kentatan, the land of tomorrow. The state name Minnesota comes from two Sioux Indian words meaning sky-colored water. Ohio is a name taken from an Iroquois Indian word meaning great land. Today, this great land has changed. We have tamed it and cultivated it. But many of our crops were first discovered and grown by the Indian. Pumpkins are among these crops, as are squash, peanuts, tomatoes, strawberries, sweet potatoes, lima beans, and kidney beans. We learned of all these crops from the Indians. Corn was perhaps the most important food crop which the Indians introduced to the European colonists. Today's corn is only a distant cousin of the colorful maize plant which the Indians cultivated. Still, corn is one of the major Indian influences in the United States. Cotton is another crop which was cultivated by the Indians. Cotton was used by the Indians as we use it today, as a staple in making clothing. Much of our clothing is made from the same varieties of cotton as were cultivated by the Indians. Though our styles are much different from those of the Indians, we still wear some items of Indian clothing. The Indian moccasin, for example, is a comfortable, easily slipped-on shoe. Another kind of Indian footwear we have borrowed is snowshoes. This type of shoe is worn mainly by hunters and trappers. Another item of Indian clothing worn today by hunters, and since the early days of our country's history, is the buckskin shirt. It was during those early days that many settlers made their first contact with the Indians. Much has been written about this period of history. Indian characters play a large role in our American literature. In the adventurous novels of James Fenimore Cooper, Kenneth Roberts, Emerson Hough, and Oliver Lafarge. In these books, we find Indian words and names that are now a part of our language. Names of trees, sequoia, pecan, and hickory. The Indians named creatures of the forest, the raccoon, and the chipmunk. We have taken into our language such Indian words as teepee, meaning a kind of tent, papoose, meaning a young infant, squaw, which means woman, succotash, meaning a dish of lima beans mixed with corn, tomahawk, meaning a hatchet-like weapon, and powwow, which means conference. These are just a few of the Indian words we have added to our language. This painting of a powwow is an example of another Indian influence, the influence on American art. Artists were greatly attracted to the rough and ready, yet dignified lives of the Indian tribes. These artists painted every aspect of Indian life. Here in this famous painting, the rough and tumble game of lacrosse is played. This fast-moving game is still played in some sections of our country. Skill, stamina, and a hard head are required for this game. In this painting, we see a traditional tribal dance. The rhythmic accompaniments for such dances have influenced much of our American symphonic and popular music. Indian influences upon art continue to the present day. In shops and galleries, modern Indian art may be seen. Pottery decorated in a wide variety of traditional geometric designs. Designs that are also found in hand-woven baskets. Beautifully fashioned jewelry is another leading Indian art. The work of talented artists is seen in the blazing colors and intriguing designs of Indian textiles. Here, for example, is a blanket with an intricate religious figure. The contributions of Indian art are only one of many Indian influences in our society today. Some Indians continue to practice their traditional skills in our modern world. Other Indian influences continue as well. In the foods we eat, the roads we travel, the language we speak, and the locations of our cities and towns. Though we have brought many changes to their land, the influences of the Indian continue as a living part of our American heritage.
We live on a planet so full of wonders that a million years wouldn't make us tired of its beauty. Its faces and moods change so quickly that almost before we see them, they are gone. Every moment is a new experience, and we are often thrilled by very common things. The sound of the sea, the freshness of morning, the quiet of a forest glen. We share the earth with too many things to ever become lonely. There are so many kinds of plants and animals that we have not even counted them all. Yet each is a miracle in its own right. Each is a clue to the purpose and meaning of life. In spite of this loveliness, we are still dissatisfied because there is one direction we can't go: up. We are chained to the surface by gravity, able to go no higher than we can jump. So we look at the sky, envy the birds, and long to fly. There is a divine madness that makes a man follow his dream, even when common sense tells him it's impossible. We are, of course, not built to fly like birds. We have no feathers, no wings. Our bodies are too heavy, our muscles too weak. But dreams are sometimes stronger than reality. And in the end, who is wiser? The man who accepts the impossible or the one who attempts it? The man who is satisfied with what he has or the one who risks everything for a vision? When you're flying, you can go in any direction. You're no longer confined by roads and fences. Flight gives you an exhilarating freedom and a whole new perspective of the earth below. From up here, you realize that nothing is isolated. Every pebble, every plant, every breath of air becomes interrelated. Movement of water, the drift of clouds, the changes of weather are no longer different happenings, but all part of the same flow. Now you see the whole picture. And what you see is that Earth is a single living organism, more fragile and more beautiful than you ever imagined. The world is different in another way, too. We always thought that the Earth was one big garden, because we lived in the valleys and plains where our food grew. Flight has taught us otherwise. The garden we thought stretched from horizon to horizon turns out to be a few patches of green on a large bare rock. We're beginning to realize that life has only a fragile hold on this planet. People are afraid that technology will destroy the fragile Earth that flight has shown us. But does technology need to be destructive? If its purpose is to refine and perfect, couldn't all machines someday be as simple and beautiful as the one I fly? Sailplanes can climb as high as large jets, yet burn no fuel. They can remain aloft for as long as we can stay awake to fly them, yet destroy no resources, cause no pollution. They are tools, yet so perfectly designed that each has the grace and beauty of an eagle or a dragonfly. Flight has become as natural as walking or swimming. I have every right to be up here. The same updrafts and winds that sustain the birds sustain me. I'm not attacking nature, but experiencing it in a new way. I've not changed the sky. It has changed me. The earth has taught us all we know. We became what we are because we had the seas to cross, continents to discover, and mountains to climb. Perhaps nothing we can imagine is impossible. The important thing, really, and try.
Scoring is the ultimate objective in offensive basketball. Every player must be able to score. Whenever possible, he should practice both set and running shots. There are two kinds of set shots, one in which the player uses two hands and the other only one. The one-handed set shot is a Western contribution to the game. The two-handed set shot is more widely used, and its popularity is greatest in the East. So let us analyze the two-handed set shot. First, the position of the feet. Some coaches advocate a natural stance like this, with the feet spread sufficiently to give the player a feeling of balance and control. Other coaches advocate placing the feet closer together like this. The foot opposite to the hand a player favors should be placed forward. This means that a right-handed player will advance the left foot. But the left-handed player will advance the right foot. Wide stance. At the start of the shot, the well spread and the weight evenly distributed. The legs are bent slightly to aid in balance and to deliver force when needed. The body is leaning slightly forward. The head is up, eyes focused on the point of the rim of the basket nearest to the shooter. For a shooter on the left of the basket, the nearest point is here, to the left of center. For one in this position, it is here, to the right of center. For the two-handed set shot, the ball is gripped firmly with the fingers and thumbs, but not tightly. The fingers are spread evenly, and the thumbs are pointing in towards each other, as you see here. The grip is slightly above center and behind the axis of the ball. Just before shooting, the ball is held directly in front of the chest, fairly close to the body. The elbows are flexed and as close to the sides as possible without touching. This position favors a balanced throw with both arms pushing with equal force. At the start of the shot, the wrists are in a natural position, but as the action begins, the player drops his wrists, cocking them for the shot like this. The ball is thrown by a motion which involves an inward rotation of the forearms and hands, so that at the end of the follow-through, the palms are toward the basket, fingers pointing up, arms extended. Here's the complete action. The body dips straight down, the length of the shot governing the depth of the knee bend. For the same distance, this tall man uses a slight bend, the short man a deeper bend. The ball will reach its lowest point on the chest when the knees are at the lowest point of the dip. More weight will be thrown on the forward foot. As knees extend, arms push the ball upward. At the same time, the hands rotate inward, fingers and thumbs releasing the ball with a slight spin. As the ball leaves the hand, the knees are fully extended. The eyes must remain fixed on the basket as the follow-through is completed. Here's that action in a game, the setup and the actual shot. Let's see that again in slow motion. There's the play. Number 12 received the ball on the pass. He gets into position for the set shot. He throws, the ball leaves his hands. His mechanics are excellent. Some players find that they get the best rhythm and coordination on the two-handed set shot if they complete their follow-through with the feet leaving the floor. Others find that they can gain the same rhythm and relaxation by merely rising on their toes like this. These differences are matters of individual taste. The basic form is the same in both cases. Each man must decide which style suits him best. The trajectory of a shot will often determine its success, and a medium arc like this has been found to give the best results. Such a shot hits with less impact, and the chances of making a score on the rebound are good. It's more like the pattern we're accustomed to in throwing. and makes for greater accuracy. The hook presents the largest target from a point directly overhead. But high shots travel a longer distance, and so the margin of error is greater. This long drop increases impact and lessens rebound chances. The flat shot has disadvantages also. The angle of the entry being too close to the horizontal makes the hoop a smaller target and a good rebound very unlikely. Here are the three different trajectories. This shot is too high. And this one too flat. This arc is just right and presents the best possibility for scoring. All medium and long set shots should be aimed to just clear the rim of the basket, not to hit the backboard. If a shot aimed at the backboard falls short, it is out of line for a basket. If long, it bounces away with no chance of scoring. Such a shot must be accurate to count. On the other hand, a shot aimed at the basket which overshoots may still bank off the backboard and score. As the ball is released, the action of the hands and wrists will impart a slight spin to it. This spin aids accuracy and ensures a complete follow-through with the hands, but it should be natural, not forced. Now let's review the points to remember about the two-handed set shot. Good bent knees, body leaning forward with back straight, the rim, ball in front of chest, near chin, elbows bent and close to sides, firm grip with hands properly placed. So much for getting set. Good action involves the knee dip, the ball reaching its lowest point at the lowest point of the knee dip, releasing the ball with an inward rotation of the hands and forearms, flexing the arms and legs at the same time as the ball is released, and upon release, the knees are fully extended. Eyes fixed on hoop, fingers pointing upward, and arms extended. Notice how graceful and with what deliberate ease these players are handling the ball. This is the result of practice, only long in shooting.
It's exciting and thrilling, and it's the best sport around.
I use it mainly as I would say, a means of expression.
And I decided I'd try like another way of surfing, because I'm getting into surfing really a lot. And skating's a way of getting into it and really expressing when there's no waves.
I like skateboarding because you get to meet other people.
Because there's nothing else to do. I like skateboards because it has a lot of action to it.
Because I like to skateboard because it's fun.
Skateboarding is a sport, and like many sports, it requires a certain degree of skill, experience, and training. And like many sports, it can be dangerous. A fall on a skateboard can cause injury. But injuries can be avoided. First of all, protective clothing should be worn by the skateboard rider. A skateboard rider should wear proper shoes, and he should wear clothing with adequate padding on his knees, hands, hips, lower spine, elbows, and shoulders. A proper fitting helmet can be worn to protect your head. You may think wearing all of this protective clothing is going a bit too far, but when you do have a fall, wearing protective clothing will greatly reduce injuries. Can you imagine a football player going into a game without any protective clothing? Protective clothing makes you more confident, and with confidence, you become better at your sport. A skateboarder's next concern should be for his equipment. Make sure that you have a safe board. Check your wheels or trucks to make sure that they are not too loose or too tight. And look to see that your wheels are secured properly to the axle. Replace any worn or broken wheels. All hard and pointed objects should be removed from your pockets. The condition of the skateboarding surface in which you're going to use should be your third concern. Skate on a clean, dry surface, free from obstacles and debris. Make sure that the surface is free from cracks and holes. After you have learned about the 3 basic safety precautions, you will want to learn something about the techniques in skateboard riding. Place one foot on the board, whichever foot feels most comfortable. While leaning with your weight slightly forward, push off with the other foot. Stride in a smooth, rhythmical manner, making sure that your push foot does not go beyond the front of the board. Your shoulders are held perpendicular to the forward direction of the board. Turning in skateboarding is much the same as in surfing. Your weight is shifted from side to side, causing the board to turn. The knees bend in coordination with the hips to place your weight on different sides of the board. Turning requires space. Make sure that you skate in an area that is not crowded. A beginner should always have someone with experience teach him basic skills, as well as more advanced tricks.
I got injured when I was skateboarding, and I was doing a trick that I really shouldn't have been doing yet until I had a little bit of practice and knowing how to fall, but I'll have to wear this for about a month because I didn't have the practice.
I think basically as far as safety, what you should do, if you're a parent, you should get your son or daughter into a judo or gymnastics class. Teach them proper techniques of falling, rolling, tumbling, anything that's going to teach the child on how to break their fall properly, not with straight forearms that are going to break their bones, but with curved techniques that are going to break their falls instead.
The popularity of skateboarding has created a number of problems for the community. Therefore, skateboard safety training has become an important addition to our existing safety programs. One of the main problems is establishing places that are safe and practical for skateboards. Areas that skateboards do not interfere with traffic on the sidewalk or in the streets. Skateboards are not designed to be ridden in the street. You cannot easily stop a skateboard when something unexpected happens. It doesn't matter how good a skateboarder you are, when you're skateboarding in the street, you have little control over unexpected dangers.
Well, skateboarding's dangerous if you don't know how to do something and then you try and do it. Just, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, it could be dangerous.
It is dangerous if you do it wrong. You shouldn't shoot hills and travel in heavily traveled areas.
Skateboarding dangerous? I don't really think so. No. I think it's really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
The Pro-Am Skateboard Racing Association was actually founded to promote safety in the sport of skateboarding. Our main purpose is to have competition take place under controlled conditions. In our competition, we make sure that all the kids wear safety helmets to protect them, and we run all the boards through a technical inspection and make sure that the equipment has passed certain requirements for safe running.
The difference between freestyle and slalom is that slalom goes mainly for speed, incorporating a lot of control, but not as much as freestyle. Freestyle is where you can be innovative and incorporate different techniques, whether it be from volleyball, gymnastics, judo, martial arts forms, or any other surfing style, snow skiing. But slalom basically has one thing in it, and that's snow skiing for speed. I like freestyle because it's more creative for me. I think any kid should learn his limits, do his limits, not go beyond them. Anytime you realize your limits, you know, and skate within harmony of them, you're not going to get yourself as hurt as someone else.
Skate right on through, why don't you? get your girl and take